Welcome everyone to the second episode of Fun With, the series where I go in depth on weapons I usually do not play with. I play with them until I have the golden camo to ensure that I can give you some well-founded advice and nice gameplay. The previous episode was about the 725 shotgun. If you're interested, there is an annotation box at the top, I will leave it there, the entire video. This episode I want to bore you to death with stuff about the crossbow, a heavily underrated weapon if you ask me, so let's get started. Have fun with it, that's my first advice. The crossbow is one of the weapons in the game that needs a lot more skill and practice than a light machine gun, for example. The arrows of the crossbow have a noticeable fall off at great distance and a lower velocity than regular bullets. This means that you have to take into account the amount the arrow is going to fall. If you have trouble compensating the fall off, a reflex optic with a vertical scale could help. Secondly, we need to compensate the travel time. For most of you this part is going to be obvious, feel free to skip a minute. So I created a little test area. Right now it doesn't look much like Call of Duty. Let's do what they always do, you add a container. I guess they have a dedicated guy for containers at Infinity Ward. I want to meet him. My contact information can be found below. So, this highly detailed rectangle is our enemy and is running across the red line from left to right. If we want to hit him, we need to aim at a point further on his imaginary, in this case red, path. He's running from left to right, so you aim further to the right. This is illustrated by the green line. If you do this correctly, the arrow should arrive at the right time to hit your opponent. You only have one arrow and the reload time is long, liking very long. You have to get yourself programmed so that you know exactly how long it takes to reload, in case depending whether or not to zoom in. I know it sounds obvious, but it's key to lose as little time as possible between kills. Getting that timing spot on is achieved through muscle memory, in other words, playing a lot. It takes time, I know, but once you master it, the fun begins. Turn around corners or leave cover right before you're ready to shoot. If you do this and pre-aim at the same time, I promise you, they won't even see you coming. Speed is key here, but one thing is even more important, and that is to always, and I want to be very clear about this, always wait until you're absolutely certain of your shot. Even when you think you're not going to make it, you wait until you're spot on. You only need one arrow, they need a lot of bullets. If you try to reload without cover and you're already spotted by an enemy, you're dead. Absolutely dead. So what can we do about this? Not much, but let's try. In the gunsmith, these are the attachments and perks I'd suggest. Yet again, the main theme is speed here, so let's have a look. I only use 4 of the 5 slots at hand. I'm not a fan of the cable, bolt and laser attachments. The laser makes you visible to enemies and the bolts are just not worth it. A gas grenade, bolt and an explosive tip, nice, not for me. I'm an offensive player and they slow me down. It takes a couple of seconds to detonate. In this short amount of time, more often than not, I find myself eating dirt because the other guy or girl had time to shoot back. I do like the Quill 100 arm, which improves aim down sight speed, movement speed and recoil control. The F-Tech speed grip for better aim down sight and sprint to fire speed, sleight of hand and the monocle reflex sight. I'm not saying this is the perfect combination, it all depends on your playing style, but for me they work. I could talk for hours about the crossbow, but my goal was to keep this video under 5 minutes. If you have questions or suggestions, leave a comment, I try to answer each and every one of them. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell for the next episode about the throwing knife. And if you can't wait, you can always watch the previous episode about the 725 shotgun. It was my honor to be your host and I wish you all a pleasant life. Ciao!